if a conservative, if we come up and we say, I like your shirt, you're a racist. I love my kids, I love my grandkids, you're a racist. If you look up on Google and you say, is breathing racist, there are articles that come up.
Please join me in welcoming the
Thank you, Elise. Really appreciate it. Am I getting that right now, Elise? Thank you, everyone, so much for having me. I really appreciate being here today. The California College Republicans, our college Republicans, we love our partnership and working with the Republican women, partnering with the California Federation of Republican Women. We are the grassroots of the state. We're awesome. We are the boots on the ground. Our Republican women and our college students are getting our Republicans elected. So, thank you for being here. I'll preface by saying happy Thanksgiving season. Or maybe this is controversial. I like to say, I'm a big Christmas person, so I say, Thanksgiving is a time to be thankful that I've already decorated for Christmas. But but happy Thanksgiving and Merry Early Christmas. As Elise said, I work with the California College Republicans. I'm the communications director of the state. That means that I am in charge of all of our social media, our press efforts, working on press releases, various things like that. I'm also the national committeeman for the California College Republicans, which means that I represent our entire state's college Republicans to our national committee, which is the college Republicans across the country. So I also work then on securing resources, funding, information, all kinds of stuff for our kids here in California. Now, what is the California College Republicans? If you don't know, we are the statewide organization that oversees over 30 chapters of college Republicans at campuses throughout the state of California, ranging from San Diego all the way up to the north. And the California College Republicans, we were founded in 1963. So we've been around a while. We just had our 58th birthday. And we were partially founded by former Governor Pete Wilson. Now, Pete Wilson, I actually got to meet him for the first time the other night at a dinner at Lincoln Club in San Diego. And got to shake his hand, and he was amazed that we're still continuing. He's like, I never imagined that you guys would be here so much long after. Keep up what you're doing, because you're the future of the country. And I thought that was very, very nice of him to say. And it's true. Our college Republicans are the future of the state. They're the future of the country. We need to get our youth involved. So, what are we doing as the statewide organization, as the college Republicans? We do several things, 5 things, of major things that we do. First of those that you might be familiar with is we campaign for Republicans. Of course, we're the boots on the ground. We knock doors, make phone calls, mail, all that kind of stuff. It's probably what you're familiar with for the college Republicans. For pretty much all of our history, that's basically all we've done. You throw some beer and pizza at the kids, and they'll be happy. All right? We don't really do that anymore. No, anymore. Although, if you threw beer and pizza, we'll probably still be happy. But, so yes, we do campaign, first and foremost. That is one of our major efforts. So during the 2020 cycle, we made hundreds of thousands of phone calls for our great Republican candidates in 2020. And we gave Congressman Mike Garcia the best call day of his re-election campaign. So that is a campaign he won in the 25th district by only about 300 votes. So if you want to say that CCR and the college Republicans got Mike Garcia elected, I won't stop you. But, but we helped him. We helped a lot of our great Republican candidates up and down the state. We didn't get to knock as many doors necessarily because of COVID, but we're back and better than ever. At the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, because Georgia and the South is a little less restrictive on their COVID stuff, we sent, as the statewide organization, 15 of our students from our chapters across the state to Georgia to knock doors, and in the span of 1 week, they knocked 7,000 doors for our Senate candidates for the U.S. Senate in Georgia. Now, unfortunately, we didn't win those races, but I like to think that we got 7,000 more votes because of CCR. So, so yes, we've been active in our campaigning efforts. Of course, we were also active during the Newsom recall. We endorsed a great conservative, Larry Elder, and won personally for his campaign. Disappointed we don't have Governor Elder right now, though, but maybe in the future. You never know. We don't know what the plans are quite yet. But, so yes, we do all that campaigning effort, and it is one of our most important things that we do. But that's not all we do anymore. Within the last 5 to 10 years or so, things have changed in the College Republicans. Partly that is due to the advent of the more digital age, social media, stuff like that, and also the election of our awesome President Trump. I like to say that the California College Republicans and our administration at the statewide level is the most conservative it has ever been in the period of its history since it was first founded. And very pro-Trump. One of the most pro-Trump College Republican state organizations in the country. So I'm pretty proud of that. But about at the advent of the digital age and social media started going, that's something else that we do that is new, that has happened really in the last 5 to 10 years. So not only now, where we're doing the campaigning efforts and stuff, we're also out there on social media. And that is the new frontier for digital campaigns and stuff like that. Now, we haven't always been good at this. Democrats learned it first in Barack Obama. Sorry, I had to say his name. Gotta wash out my mouth with soap now. But during his campaign in 2008, 2012 re-election, the Democrats tend to oftentimes, they do things, they adopt these technologies, they have better designs, better graphic designs, better posters, better marketing, better stuff like that. I'm a marketing professional, so I'm one of the only Republican marketing people. They tend to have all this stuff and adopt it first and be better at it. The only thing that they really suck at is their ideas. But we need to do that more. And I like to think that our college Republicans are really leading that effort and that frontier for adopting this new metric. And I'll give shout out for the GOP that as a broader audience, they've been adopting this in the last few years too, really understanding the importance of targeted digital campaigns and social media outreach. So the California College Republicans is a statewide organization. Our social media, we have more social media followers than we have more than any other College Republican state federation in the country. And we have the third most total social media followers out of any Republican organization in the state of California. We are only superseded by the San Diego Republican Party and the California Republican Party. And we're coming for them. So give us a follow then it's at CA College GOP on social media. We are verified on social media. We are one of the only college Republican groups in the country that does appreciate that social media outreach and stuff, and we run digital ads, targeted campaign ads to help our candidates during election cycles. We ran ads during 2020 to boost turnout, and we also run them to try and convert new voters and get voters registered and have them elect Republicans. And that's something we're not doing enough of. But at the very base level, something that you all can do, everyone can do, of course, if you're just active on social media as an individual. I think if we log on to Facebook or whatever, we see all of our friends, and it seems like it's a liberal paradise for them on social media. There's at least a third of California is conservatives. We're not very vocal on social media. I think, we're that silent majority mentality where we keep quiet, we don't want to make waves. But then that means that people aren't hearing our values. They're not hearing what we're about. They're not hearing different opinions. So that is what we're pushing for in the College Republicans. So get out there as individuals, certainly, but also your club. Make sure that you're active on social media too. All of our CRs, they're active. They have their individual club social media accounts, and of course we have our statewide organization. Now, what else do we do besides that? That's a lot already. But we also send kids to events, our annual convention. We subsidize our convention and get them out there, and we do trainings and make sure that all of our clubs know how to be better and effective clubs and how to register voters on their campus, how to get out there and be active in their communities. We provide tabling materials so they can go on table on campus and give away little, freebie things like this flag in the front here so they can set up and be cool. Lower flag. I designed our logo, so So we do that. But we have our annual events then. So this past annual convention, which we sponsored for our college Republicans to attend, was in Las Vegas. Remember how I mentioned the pizza and beer thing? No. It is a serious convention. It's fun because it's in Las Vegas. But this past convention, we did it in Vegas, and we had Ambassador Richard Brunel, Carl DeMaio, who I used to work for, love him, and we had Congressman Paul Gosar and Chairwoman Jessica Patterson were our speakers at convention in Vegas. And we are going to be returning to Vegas again in June this upcoming year. We haven't announced our speakers yet, but hopefully some good things coming up. But we get those kids there, they learn from party officials, they learn from conservative speakers, we train them how to be better activists and stuff on their clubs, on their campuses. That is another thing we do. We provide speakers to them. We help them connect with speakers that they can host on their own campuses. We have hosted in the past Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager, and so many more. Ben Shapiro is actually an alum of CCR. He went to UCLA and was involved in college politics. Actually, some other alums too. Sean Steele is an alum, and Michelle Steele, Congresswoman Steele, his and her daughter Cheyenne was our former chairwoman, 2008 to 2009. Dana Rohrabacher was a former CR. Leader McCarthy was on the executive board at CCR. Fred Whitaker from the Orange County Republican Party was our former chairman in 1987. So many more. Lots of people throughout the history of CCR have been part of it. But what else do we do? I know, that's a lot already. That was a lot. I'm a very busy person. Some of the other things that we do then is activism, campus activism. And I'm going to say that is distinctly different from just pure recruiting efforts, just pure registering new voters, things like that. It's something that I'd like to see more of the party doing, but I think that our Republicans are doing a really good job leading this frontier for it. And it's something, this activism effort is something that I like to say they're leading with a bit of shock conservatism. And I guess, let's see, what do I mean by that? It's these campus leftists on all these campuses, and God is a godforsaken place. These campuses are awful. I went to UCSD, also known as UC Socially Dead. I found the college Republicans, that's fine. But very leftist campus, pretty gross. I had a professor one day in class open his laptop to start a lesson, and his background was Black Lives Matter. And then I had another professor after the election, after President Trump was elected, started talking about how much of an idiot he was. So, God forsaken campuses. But these kids are so indoctrinated, or they're taught, and just leftists in general. If a conservative, if we come up and we say, I like your shirt, you're a racist. I love my kids, I love my grandkids, you're a racist. If you look up on Google and you say, is breathing racist, there are articles that come up. I'm not kidding. It's a test, literally type of, is something racist? I don't know, yes. So that is their card they go to, and they're often indoctrinated. They really believe them. So we need to shock them a little bit to wake them up. And one of those ways, one of the things I like to go back to is we've had some events, an affirmative action bake sale. I don't know if you've heard of that one. I like that one. You go on campus, you're selling cookies or something as a chapter, and you price, cookies are $1 for black people, and they're $2 for the white people, and everyone comes up and they're like, "Isn't that racist?" It's like, yes. Do you see affirmative action? They're like, "Wait a minute. What do you mean?" That's a fun one. But we like shocking them a little bit. We like getting out there, and of course we like any efforts that, another portion of activism, anything that is going against the campus administrations. Because, remember, they're godforsaken leftist hellholes. The campus administrations are very, very, they're pushing back against conservatives. They're really awesome. So one of our favorite things we love to do is to sue them when they violate our rights, and they do that a lot. So I'll actually bring you the latest news that we're going through right now. Everyone is familiar with the vax mandates. Our tyrannical governor our tyrannical legislature with these authoritarian mandates. I love to see all the maskless faces. Thank God. But on our campuses, you still have to wear masks, or you get booted out of the university. But what we're doing right now is we filed a lawsuit against Loyola Marymount University for the vaccine mandates. That's going through the process right now. Unfortunately, a lot of those lawsuits have not gone great, but we are going to fight back no matter what. We're going to keep pushing. So we did file that lawsuit that is currently happening. But what else do we have going on? You're going to like this one. This is within the last month. So CCR, the statewide organization, I said we're the most conservative group I've ever been. I'm sorry, it's controversial, but we are very pro-life. We believe life begins at conception. And abortion is murder. Actually, our wonderful state chairman, Will Donahue, he sends his regards. He couldn't be here. He goes to Loyola. He's the one that's leading the lawsuit against Loyola Marymount. He's awesome, but he actually signed an executive order barring me from actually, whenever I refer to abortion now, I actually have to say it's the murder of the people. So, I like that. But what we're doing right now is we did a pro-life month in CCR. And we had all of our chapters throughout the state put together pro-life events. And it started at Pepperdine, where they did a mural on campus, where they did a bunch of crosses on the mural. And all these crosses came together to represent the 62 million babies that have been killed since the Roe v. Wade decision in 1970. And that is just, I'm sorry, that's horrific. Sorry, sad note. But it is really sad. We wanted to honor that and respect that, and teach our classmates on campus that this is sad. Babies are being killed. You should care. This is why you should care. Leftists, they don't like free speech. Their response to free speech is often to destroy it, to tear it down, to shout you down, to punch you, kick you, call you names, call you racist. They don't like listening to what you have to say, and they want to prevent you from saying it because, you don't want to convert anyone to your side. So these leftists on campus at Pepperdine started tearing down the mural. Right after it was put up, they started tearing it down. And plastering on top of it, my body, my choice. Here's the Planned Parenthood local phone number. Now, Pepperdine, our chapter there, they went to the university president, President Jim Gash. And Pepperdine is a private Christian university. So you would think that the campus administration, if any administration, is going to work on this cause. You know, a secular university is not. But you would think a Christian one, which promotes the values, supposedly, of life. That's what Christianity says. And they went to the university, and the university said, too bad. They didn't do anything about it. No, they didn't even want to comment on it. They didn't want to say, like, we're not going to get into it, but, like, we believe in pro-life values. No, didn't say anything. So that landed them on Fox News. Getting condemned on Fox News, which was awesome. So the California College Republicans, we put out a press release on that and got picked up by Fox. And Pepperdine had some serious egg on their face. I have to follow up, actually, to see how much donor money they lost, but I hope it was good. And then LMU, Loyola Marymount University, where the Vax lawsuit is happening, they decided to replicate the event. They did their own pro-life mural. Thankfully, actually, that one wasn't destroyed. But what did happen is within a few days, an organization on campus called Loyola Women in Politics decided to host a fundraiser for Planned Parenthood on campus. Now, Loyola Marymount is a private Catholic university. And what do you think Loyola Marymount did about this? Absolutely nothing. So, actually, the issue was brought to the university president, President Tim Snyder, and he said, well, I hear your concerns about the event, and I don't care. And he let the event go forward as planned. Now, our chapter at Loyola Marymount was justifiably upset. Now, of course, it'd be one thing, free speech to an extent. Sure, private universities in California, due to a law called Leonard's Law, they do have free speech rights at private universities in California. It's not usually the case, but that is not the circumstance. So it's like, darn, should we stage a counter-protest? What should we do instead? Well, what really pissed them off is when the university said, here, have this space for free to host your event on campus and promote it on all of the university materials. The Archdiocese, the Archbishop of LA, Catholic Archbishop, condemned oil and said you should be promoting pro-life values. We went out in our communities because we were so upset. We got 15,000 signatures from local Catholics, from LMU students, and from alums to take to President Snyder and say, these people want you to cancel the event or at least make a statement saying you promote pro-life values because you're a Catholic university. And he said, I hear your concerns. And he dumped it in the trash. That wound up in the Washington Post. We put out a press release that got him in the Washington Post and had some egg on his face. This was more recent, so I don't know what the donor money situation is on that, but Catholics were really, really upset with that. And now, just yesterday, at San Francisco State University, they repeated the same event. They did it a little different. They did some chalking on campus, and they put some flags in the grass. And they got approval from the campus. Everything was kosher. They said, host it. Great, whatever. Actually, pretty decent for San Francisco State University to say that. So they went, they did their event, they, chalked, they said, abortion is murder and stuff like that on the ground, on Library Walk. And as they were doing it, all these little pro-murder campus lefties came up and started pouring water on the chalk. And they started ripping up all the flags. This just happened yesterday. That is actually unconstitutional. So that is a violation of the heckler's veto. That's the heckler's veto. So you do not have the right to stop someone else from exercising their rights. So we just put out a press release this morning condemning San Francisco State University for allowing this to happen and demanding that they either discipline these students that did that or they host another event and they make sure that it's not disturbed by the campus leftists, because if they don't do that, we're going to sue them. So lots of fun things going on right now. But what you can do then to support us and all these efforts that we're working on is a few things. First, 100% follow us on social media. It'd be awesome. Again, it's at CA College GOP. We're verified on social media. We have the little blue check mark or the red elephant. Give us a follow. That'd be awesome. Share our stuff. If you contact us on there, I'd be happy to reshare some of your stuff. I run all this over. Another thing that you can do is we are putting on a lot of these events, a lot of these speakers. And I have one fun announcement. I can announce a couple events that are coming up. In January, February, I forget the exact date. I don't know if they've announced the date yet, but at Stanford University, they are hosting Vice President Mike Pence. And pretty cool. That's the step below right there with President Trump. God, would we love to get him at an event though. At the Vegas convention this past summer, when Rick Grinnell came on and started talking to us, he was like, it's so good to address you guys. Did you guys hear that just down the street is President Trump? He had pulled into one of his casinos and was there for the whatever it is fight. So a bunch of our students ran over to see if they could catch a glimpse of him when he was walking by Secret Service. Sad. Big sad. So we got Mike Pence coming. We also have Amy Hopkins who's going to be speaking hopefully to us, I believe, in February. We're locking down a date for her. And we're also putting on a fundraiser dinner for some great candidates in Orange County. It's going to be the Blue Winters Dinner. And that is going to be going to support our local law enforcement, specifically to help the re-election campaigns of Don Barnes and Todd Spitzer, the local DA, who are some big target races in California for the Democrats, because they really want to flip Orange County. Don Barnes, as sheriff, is doing a great job issuing a lot of CCRs out there. It's awesome. But anyway, we're pro-life, pro-gun. Awesome. So those are some events we got coming up, but all that, of course, takes a lot of resources and planning and stuff from the state organization. So if you are able to give anything, no pressure, but anything and everything does help. We'd like to contribute to all of our efforts, keep our campuses going. We've been around for 58 years. We'd love to keep going for another year. Anything you can do would help keep our 30+ chapters going. You can contribute at cacollegegop.com. We have some donation information and my personal cards that'll take you to a list of all of our chapters and stuff like that on the table over there. Has all of our contribution information. Anything you can do would help. $5. What you can also do is, I was talking to your wonderful president and vice president, and it's unfortunately sad that we don't really have any chapters in this area. And we would love to get some chapters in this area. So if you have kids, grandkids, cousins, friends of the family, whatever, if you know any remotely right of center student, as long as they're to the right of now, we'll work with them. But if they're on campus and they're willing to start a club or get involved with the College Republicans in any capacity, please send them my way. Let your club know. Let me know if you grab my card. Reach out. We need some students out there at these local campuses to start a chapter. And there's a couple ways that we can start that chapter. We can get either an interested student at first. Maybe they don't want to be the president. Maybe they just want to be vaguely involved. Or maybe they don't even want to be involved. But it'll still help. If they are willing to, on their campus, just start the club, get a club registered on their campus, it's likely, I would hope, that they have at least, 4 or 5 friends that may not even be conservative, but if they're like, you're my friend, can you at least just sign this paperwork? You don't have to deal with it, whatever, it's just to set up the club. If they get that going and get officially registered, then that draws some eyes from actual, conservative students on campus that may want to get involved, or maybe too scared to get involved, or don't know where to start. Because they'll look at their campus club registration portal, and they'll say, oh, there's the College Republicans, I might want to join them. And then your kid, who's maybe the one contact, who's the actual contact for the club, hears from a bunch of people in the community, oh, we're interested, we want to be part of it. And he's like, okay, great, here, you be the president. They don't have to be the president, but at least we need points of contact on these campuses to get it started. Because a lot of the time, as much as I would love to, we can't always just go straight on the campus and start tabling. They have their, it's always something that ruins it for everybody else with the active shooter concerns and stuff like that. In the past, they've made a lot of stricter rules that just random people can't walk on the campuses. Some campuses let you, not all of them. So that helps to have an actual point of contact. And then, hey, if a kid actually wants to be the president and take over the club, that's awesome. But either way, if we get a club started around campus, then we can provide them with help, provide them with resources from the state level, wonderful clubs that they'd be happy to help sponsor them. So if you know anyone that is interested, send them on.